ladies, gentlemen, Anomalocars, Australopithecus, and any other forms of life that happen to be watching my videos. I think I'm beginning to like that intro. KTM here. Up to our usual madness, but before I go on, I need to tell you, my videos are going to be a little slow for a while. Things are getting busy, you know, school's starting up again, gotta go to college. And so I'm probably going to be a little bit slow with the videos, but I promise they will arrive. So I decided that I'd just make this video, hopefully quickly, about my take on justice. Now, there are a whole bunch of ways to look at justice. There's the American way, there's the European way with their systems, there's the just us way, if you know what I mean. And there's a whole bunch of other ways to look at it. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to say, 100% honestly, I don't entirely like the American system of justice. Now, let me explain. There are a couple of reasons for this, and I think a lot of it is really good. I think that the idea of having a judge and jury is a good idea. I think innocent until proven guilty is a good idea. And I have a couple of issues with it, but, you know, whatever. My first issue is that sometimes it gets so ridiculous to prove things beyond shadow of a reasonable doubt that it's just insane. Now, this is just one girl's personal opinion. I haven't looked up too much information on the O.J. Simpson trial, so I can't honestly say if he actually did it from the evidence. But I'm fairly certain that he did. And, well, because he had a very good lawyer against a very poor prosecutor, he got away with it. He had a good attorney. Okay. And, you know, that's a problem. I mean, okay, it's fairly obvious that he did. And sometimes it gets so ridiculous to prove things beyond shadow of a reasonable doubt that murderers will get off the hook. Rapists will get off the hook. And bad people will get off the hook because no one comes and tells them they're wrong and they just manage to get away in a technicality. That sucks. And I hate it when shit like that happens. People getting fucking, you know, freed. And it's obvious that they've committed the crime to everyone. Second of all, I don't like the idea of how it is corruptible. Now, mind you, I'm not saying it is corrupt. I am saying it's corruptible. I'm not going, oh, man, you gotta watch out for the system, man. It's out to get you, man. You gotta look out for the man. No, that's utterly fucking ridiculous, conspiracy theorist. What I am saying is that it is corruptible. The difference being if it is corrupt, then the entire system is out to fucking get you. And this would probably really only happen in a judiciary system where the idea is guilty until proven innocent. A corruptible system is a system where someone with the motivation, i.e. saving their own ass, someone with the willpower, someone with the money, and someone with the influence can somehow get out of doing something bad because they lie, they cheat, they bribe, everything, and they can make themselves appear innocent. The system is corruptible. It's the nature of all systems, and every single one is. But, and my final qualm is the idea of punishment. Punishment may work in some instances. You know, if you beat someone with a stick enough, they'll stop doing whatever it is they're doing that made you beat them with a stick. That's true. But usually, it just cements the desire to do the crime, especially in people who have the mindset of a criminal. You know, you can pound someone's face and all you want, but you're not going to get anywhere with it. And, you know, the alternative most people would think is, well, you know, you get someone in a room and you sit down with them and you tell them why they're wrong and you hold their hand and you say, you're actually a good person. And therefore, we're going to tell you why what you did was wrong. First of all, that's an utterly ridiculous pansy method of getting anything done. And second of all, it's not really going to change anyone's mind in the first place. You tell someone why they're wrong, they're not going to stop it. If you do both things, however, there is a better increased chance of this. That's why I like Native American circle justice. Native American circle justice I discovered by reading a book called Touching Spirit Bear. I haven't gone too much into actual research about the actual system, so I can't talk really about what it's actually like. I can just tell you about what I saw in this book, and I really liked it. Basically, the idea of circle justice is this. Let's say some guy killed his cat, and they can prove that he killed the cat beyond shadow of a reasonable doubt. Well, instead of having him, you know, go in jail or have to pay a fine, $300 fine, What they do is they get the owners of the cat, they get him, they get everyone else in town who wants to get involved, and they sit down and they talk. They start saying, okay, why did you do what you do? They talk about it, and eventually they come up with the proper punishment for the guy to do. One example of what they might come up with is the guy now has to buy a new cat for the family. He has to pay for its food and its water, or at least a part of it, and maybe he has to come by, stop, and play with it every couple of days or something, I don't know. You know, they might come up with a system like that. That's good, because the guy knows now what it is to love a cat, and what it is to love a dog, or what it is to whatever. And the guy knows, I mean, he's being punished. He really is being punished. I mean, he's spending his money on an animal that isn't even his. In most cases, this will get people to stop going around homicidally killing cats. Some people won't be stopped from it, but those people are clinically insane and don't deserve to be given justice anyway. But that's why I like Circle Justice. Circle Justice treats human beings like human beings. No one is ever evil because they want to be evil. I want this to get straight to everybody. There is no such thing as someone who is born evil. And there is no such thing as, well, absolute evil. And in my personal opinion, no one does evil because they want to. If we had that kind of shit happening, well, it would be kind of like being in an episode of Captain Planet. You know how in Captain Planet the villains used to steal oil tankers, but instead of selling the tanker itself and the valuable black gold within, they decided to crash it into an iceberg just to teach all the baby seals a lesson in complacency? The world would be a little like that. If everyone's reason for being evil, as much a bastard as they could be, then, well, the world wouldn't be such a good place, and we'd have really weird crimes going on like that. No, there's no one who's evil because they want to be evil. They're evil because they're creepily insane, they're evil because they're ignorant of what they're actually doing, or they're evil because they're just in an emotional frenzy. And that's the way Circle Justice treats it. Now, I don't have time. Now, here's the thing. You can go and you can say someone is evil all you want. But there are people who, through the inhumanity of their actions, have foregone the necessity of being treated like a human. I could go on and on about examples of this, but I don't have time. I will, however, pick one example, a recent one. Remember that guy in Austria who kept his daughter locked in his basement and raped her enough that she had 7 children with him? Remember that maniac? Yeah. Well, I don't know exactly what his punishment was. I think he's just getting a jail sentence. But, well, that's not what he deserves. What he did was so inhumanly cruel. I don't care what his justification for it was. There is no reason why anyone should do anything like that at all. So what should be done to the guy? Lock him in a basement and have some guy come down and rape him every day. Or however often. See how much he likes it. That is the only appropriate punishment for that maniac. And I honestly believe that. And, you know, again, this guy has completely blown away his humanity. He has given it up by the cruelty of his actions to his own flesh and blood, and he deserves no respite, no sympathy. He deserves nothing but the worst treatment. And I will say there are people who do deserve the death penalty. But, as I've said before, I am a person who loves life. I will always do what I can to save life and save people from hating their own lives for whatever reason. That's the thing. Life is life, really. But, you know, there are some times when, again, I mean, I think I can justify the killing of animals and the eating of animals. Well, maybe I can justify the killing of a human who acts like a fucking monster. You know, there are a lot of people in history who deserve that fate, and a lot of people who deserve worse than that fate. But, you know, and I could go into details about how I think each crime should be treated, but again, I don't have time. Technically, I think I'm already over the limit before I start doing the cutting. But, you know, that's just that, man. Well, anyway, I'm done. I thought this was going to be quick, but it wasn't. Alright, people. Peace, love, and flowers. Mwah!